Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. And I decided to comb my hair for y'all today and get dressed. So, what's up, everybody? Come on in. A lot of people been asking me about Jennifer Soto. Where's Jennifer Soto, Jay? When's Jennifer Soto gonna be arrested? Arrest Jenn Soto. That's what I want. Where's Jenn Soto? Why isn't she arrested? All right, we're gonna talk about it. So anybody that pops in today and says, "Where's Jenn Soto?" Arrest Jenn Soto, or they have questions about Jenn Soto, we'll try to answer them today because today we're talking about, well, Jenn Soto. All right, Jenn Soto caught. Proof. I watched her like a hawk. She knew what happened to Maddie Soto. Now, I'm reacting to a video today, and as long as the content keeps coming and Jenn Soto keeps talking, right? As long as she talk, and we can go over it, then we will. So let me get started by saying hello, everybody. Come on in. Hashtag take your meds. All right. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. Now, I'll be gifting some memberships today because we'll be here for quite some time, per usual, right? Justice for Madeline Soto. And, I'll probably say it three times now, three times later, and three times again. All right. So, the last interaction that I had, I shouldn't say we because nobody else talks to them except for me. The last interaction that I had with law enforcement, they were very happy. And this is the lead detective in the Madeline Soto case. He was very happy to get information from me. He happily took it. He happily interacted with me along with other um media outlets, and I'm not talking about social media or YouTube salutes. I'm talking about real media and real actual law enforcement, real head of the case. Oh my goodness, Sharon Boco's in the house, my Leo twin. Good to see you, my friend. Huge hug to you. I haven't seen you in a while, and boy, have I missed you. Come on in, chill out, relax, and stay for a while. All right. So listen, last time I talked to law enforcement, they were happy to talk. They were happy to get the information that I had. And the last time I talked to Stephan, he was happy to talk and give out any information. And of course, he has a vested interest in, well, he didn't plead guilty to taking Maddie's life. So he obviously stopped talking after the second to last time we talked, and I asked him a very, very specific question about Jenn Soto. His response was, well, the case isn't closed. The state attorney has approached my defense team, and there's a possibility that, or not a possibility, the case is still open. There's only so much I can say. Now, going back to that with law enforcement, why in the hell would law enforcement, like some old lady came on my show and said about a month ago, Jay, you're not a doctor. Jay, you're not a cop. Why would they talk to you? Well, of course they would talk to you. If they want your information, anybody's going to talk to you. Of course, of course. Now, the old lady was right. The old hag that had an agenda, which I think if I'm around on Friday, guys, we're going to do a call-in show. All right. We're going to do some more Jenn Soto and a call-in show because I got a lot to get off my chest, and I know you guys do too. And it's far and few between now that this case has settled down that we're hearing anything. So that being said, we got a lot to talk about. We've got a Jenn Soto roast / episode because I got a lot to say about her. And if anyone wants to contribute to our goal today, that would be awesome. If you want a super chat or super sticker to get my attention and get a question, or just say, Jay, I love your show. That'd be awesome. Get a membership, gift a membership, all of the above. What's up, Mighty Joe? Lori Miner says, choo choo. Let's hit that goal. I'll leave that up until we get the next one. Let's get this started, all right? TMI, hitting the shower but listening. That's all good, Melissa. We all got to shower and listen. I have a Bluetooth speaker in my bathroom, and every time I take a shower, I put that Bluetooth on and I listen to my YouTube episodes, true crime, get ready for the day. do my due. So, hey, it's all good. What's up, Teresa? Missed you. I miss my crime crew people from Florida, and I love you guys that you come here every day. And I love Kathy. Kathy sends me awesome emails about new information. Kel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I comb my hair for you guys today. All right. You got the Bluetooth going too. All right. All right. What's up, Lisa Lynn? How you doing? Gotta have the Bluetooth. Angela, love you. Thank you for supporting my channel as always. Let me put that back up. I didn't want to take that down. We'll leave that up until we can get the next one. The choo-choo. Choo-choo means the next person that can donate a membership, gift a membership, whatever, towards our goal. I appreciate that. So we are all here together with the same goal. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. I really want to hear what Stephan has to say about my last questions. I think Deb is here. Yesterday she had trouble getting into chat. Thank you so much, NetNet, for the $1.49 sticker. Choo choo. I'm doing very well, guys. I've been busy the last couple of weeks, but I've been here for you all and to be with you, right? I love doing true crime, and these cases all need attention. All right. So, okay, Deb's here. Stephan slowed down on the messages once he realized that the state had reached out to his team to find out more about what Jenn Soto's part is and was in Maddie's death. And obviously, it's been very clear as we watch this video coming up, very, very clear that Jenn Soto knew that Maddie and Stephan had this inappropriate relationship and that he was abusing her. You can't call it sleeping with, but that's what was happening in that case in the house, in my opinion. Kathy, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you guys get a membership, please thank Kathy. All right, Wesley, love you. Prayers for you as always and your son. All right, troops, hello, everybody. Roll on in. Let's get going. Let's start. If you guys need to rewatch and hear what I just said about what's going on in the case, what's happening, well, you can just ask me again later on, and I'll be happy to restate what I'm doing, what I know, what's going on, etc., etc. And I will try my best to do a call-in show on Friday. And hopefully we won't get old hags calling me and yelling at me for no apparent reason at all. Barbie G, thank you so much. Choo choo. Love your show, Jay. You're the best. You are. Thank you, all of you guys. And Mem Clar, big hug to you. I got my regular peeps here. I did not see Sadie's mama. I'm not sure if I missed her. However, she did send me a text yesterday. And so hopefully she's doing good today. I know she's got a lot of health issues going on, and but I'm sure she's okay. So if anybody's asking about Sadie's mama, there it is. She's okay. She texts me. I hear from her regular. I don't always text her back because, well, I've got 50 other people texting me. Cirrus, good to see you, my friend. She says, choo choo. She's on board. Thank you so much. You guys, we've got freaking 7 things going on. And Beth, thank you so much for being a member for a year. Shout out to you. All right. Shout out to you. Yeah, no haters allowed. We're not doing with the haters. We'll just roast the haters today. How about that? All right, let's get going. Let me tell you real quick, just very quickly, what you're getting yourselves into today. All right. So you see Jenn Soto on that couch. This is a new episode. VEROSCOPE came out 6 days ago. If he's going to keep making them and doing the forensic analysis, well, I'm going to take it. All right. This is the Jenn Soto's interrogation with Detective Kevin. All right. This contains the most damning linguistic evidence in the entire Madeline Soto investigation. All right. The forensic statement analysis exposes Jenn Soto's admission to she tried watching her like a hawk. Now, a confession that destroys her claimed ignorance of Stephan's abuse of 13-year-old Maddie Soto. When Jenn told Detective Kevin, I thought I was doing a good job, but I just wasn't, she admitted knowledge, attempted prevention, and failure to protect her daughter, Madeline Soto. All right. Shout out to True Crime and Other Stuff. First time here, please welcome True Crime and Other Stuff to the channel. Detective Kevin O'Malley is a rock star. What's up, Abby Poodle? Good to see you. I found a pair of Jenn's or Maddie shorts in my old laundry. I threw them away. Anything from Jenn is toxic. And Deb, I'm surprised Jenn's shorts didn't just light on fire when you picked them up. They didn't just start on fire from all the stink and disgustingness of that nasty, evil potato that knew what was going on in that house. And I believe she knew exactly what was going on the morning Maddie's life was taken, or they took her life, and everything else that happened. So the smoking gun of this statement in the interview is like a hawk. You can't not have admission while admitting to knowing and trying to prevent something that you didn't know that you needed to prevent. I would never tell you, I tried to prevent baby guilty from crossing the street and getting hit by that car that I saw coming. And then in the next sentence, but I never saw the car coming and I didn't know. Well, how the hell am I going to prevent baby guilty from getting hit by the car that was coming if I didn't know the car was coming and I wasn't trying to prevent her from getting hit? That doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's a lie. And a lot about Jenn Soto, and this, especially when you break it down in a forensic analysis, is a lie, and more of a lie. Yeah, she's an absolute terrible mother. So these forensic findings in this application that law enforcement uses helps to break down what people are lying about and to focus on specific areas. All right. So I tried to watch her like a hawk. She admitted surveillance of a specific danger. While preventing it, I thought I was doing a good job. You can't admit to being actively preventing something if you don't know what you're preventing. All right. And then she said, but I wasn't, which is an admitted guilt of being unsuccessful to protect Maddie. Now, Jenn Soto absolutely normalized Stephan Sterns cuddling with Madeline Soto. Okay. And she even says sometimes Stephan would wear pants and sometimes he wouldn't. So there was just 222 people, now 225. Say a prayer that Maddie gets the justice she deserved. And Muffin, I am with my every fiber of my being. I want Jenn Soto to be arrested. I assure you that I will do everything that I can to give law enforcement anything that they need for me to help in their investigation of hooking up with Stephan Sterns and getting Jenn Soto arrested. Yeah, she's evil in my opinion as well. She's an evil, lying liar. So let's get into it, guys.
These officers interview her. It's got to the stage of the interview where the subject matter is quite difficult. So if that isn't for you today, then I would advise you to skip the video.
Now, listen, guys, listen real quick before we get into it. I want you to know that in this case, I didn't even realize that many times, like we were watching, I just learned this yesterday with covering the Jake Haro case for Emmanuel Haro, that you cannot have a spouse or another person testifying against you if they're in the same case and it hasn't been closed yet. So when I was listening to that yesterday, I didn't realize that Jake Haro had to be signed, sealed, delivered, and guilty in order for himself to interject himself into the case of the case of Rebecca Haro and the part that she had. The reason I'm telling you this is because now that Stephan Sterns has been signed, sealed, delivered, guilty, and sentenced, he can now interject himself into Jenn Soto's portion of the case. And yes, it's taken longer. Yes, law enforcement has changed quite a bit, but we still want justice for Maddie. And many times the laws of justice don't work as fast as what just happened in the Jake Haro, Emmanuel Haro saga. So now that this is done, we can move forward with arresting Jenn Soto. The case is not closed. If it were, I would have heard something. You would have heard something. They'd have said, this is closed. I don't want any information. They wouldn't have approached Stephan Sterns, and y'all wouldn't have known about it either.
It's going into some detail. So without going too far into the analysis, we do see direct admission from Jenn of surveillance. We see her say, referring to Madeline, watching her like a hawk. We see admission of failed prevention. We see acceptance of inappropriate conduct.
if you've been on this channel, Lori, you absolutely know that I don't believe Stephan didn't unalive her. That's just a small portion of what you're saying. I absolutely believe Stephan was part of unaliving her and maybe the main part of unaliving her. However, I also believe that Jenn Soto was not only involved in taking Maddie's life, but covering it up and telling Stephan where to go. So if you're new to the channel, then I guess that would be a fair question. But does anybody that's been in my chat for the last almost 2 years believe that I believe that Stephan didn't unalive her? No. That's my answer. That's my only answer to this. All right. Kel, thank you so much. Choo choo. All right. Nobody ever said that Stephan didn't do that. Stephan just didn't. He didn't plead guilty because he says that he wasn't the only one that played a part in it. All right. So absolutely, Stephan's right where he's supposed to be, and Jenn Soto needs to be where Stephan Sterns is. They both need to be locked up. All right. So that just shows me who knows what and all that stuff. Yeah, I never, ever, 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 ever would ever say, no matter who I know or like, that Stephan Sterns is innocent of anything. We're talking about hashtag arrest Jenn Soto and the part she played. Let's go.
We see leaked truth through abandoned sentences, not just sentence. And we see contradiction. We see specific timeline knowledge from Jenn and a complete absence of a reliable denial. In effect, we also see an admission, and we see very strong consciousness of guilty knowledge as to what was going on between Stephan and Madeline. And even in the last video, we saw Jenn state that she sent them upstairs. So let's carry on with the difficult part of the video, and I'll try to avoid some of the words which obviously YouTube don't like. And if you
Oh no, you're good. I'm just a passionate creator, Lori. So when I do pin somebody's comment up on the screen and I answer you, sometimes people might think that I'm yelling or being hyper. No, I'm just passionate. I just want to let everybody know very clearly that I believe both Stephan Sterns and Jenn Soto are 100% culpable for all of it. Whether Stephan accidentally pressed too hard and took Maddie's life, whether it was post-mortem, I don't know. But I do know that Jenn Soto, with her own words, will give her the guilt that you will see. And this that you'll see the guilt. And we've showed it time and time again. Right?
You can try to avoid some of those in the comments as well. That would be appreciated.
I promise you, like, you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her?
And we're not even focusing on the fact that she's fine with any of it, right? She's fine with all the other things because she knew, guys. She knew. I have no doubt in my mind that not only did she encourage Stephan and Maddie's relationship, which is abuse. When I say Stephan and Maddie's relationship, it's absolutely abuse. But I believe that she encouraged it. She continued to encourage it, and she let it happen. And we're going to talk about that this whole episode. If it was any of us, the unknowns that had a hand or inclination of tampering with evidence and falsifying a report, would have been jailed a long time ago. Why is the potato hasn't? I have no idea. This is crazy. And that's why I pinned your comment up, because you're 100% correct. If any one of us would have had that knowledge, if any one of us would have done any of the stuff that Jenn Soto did, we would have been arrested as well. Tampering with evidence, crime scene, the way that they disposed of Maddie, the way what happened to her from the time she was in the car. All right, that's all of those things. So many charges that we've talked about, and she's charged with none at this point. But why are law enforcement being so quiet and tight-lipped about what's happening.
I still want.
And you'll notice the police officer
That's
there
loud.
moved his head in disbelief. We've covered this part in the previous analysis, so we're just playing the last minute of what we did cover, and then it continues on, just in case you missed the last analysis. Here we have an admittance that she thinks what has happened is fine.
It's fine. As long as he didn't take her life. What?
I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me.
Again, and she's only referring to taking Maddie's life at this point, because right before this, she literally just said, hey, I didn't think he did the evil stuff. And we're going to go on to talk about how Maddie laid inside of his arm, and sometimes he had pants on and sometimes he didn't. And by her own admittance and guilty knowledge, she tells us about it all in the email and all in this episode. I'm sorry. In my opinion, I absolutely think that Jenn was the puppet master on what happened to Maddie after her death, and the whole ruse of going to the blood doctor and clean up and all that. That was all Jenn Soto's alibi. Stephan didn't talk. He never talked until now that his freaking case is over, and he still has appeals. So there's a possibility that he can get an appeal based on whatever he's talking to his lawyers about.
And have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this.
Madeline's body at this stage during this interview has not yet been discovered, although photographic evidence that leads the police to believe that she's passed away has been discovered on Stephan's phone. Jenn has been made aware of the existence of this evidence, although there is still the police have given Jenn, because there is no body discovered, the possibility that she might still be alive. So we need to bear those circumstances in mind when we hear her linguistics.
And again, her daughter's still missing right here. They haven't found her body. She's seen the pictures of the BJs and all the other stuff that I would go ballistic over. I would go ballistic if I saw a man making my daughter give him a BJ and the anal stuff. I would go through that window right there. I'd go through the glass and all of that, and I would find out what room Stephan was in, and I would just do anything that I can grab and find. I would do it. I don't care if I got locked up. She's sitting there trying to justify to law enforcement how Stephan's a good guy, how he didn't do it. Maddie's still missing. It's not that evil. She thinks the kidnappers took him. I mean, I'm getting mad just thinking about it. And the reason I am is because, I mean, I just took my daughter's been going to, she's 11. She's been going to the doctors the last couple of weeks. I've been taking her to different doctors. She also has ADHD, and we got to, talk to the therapist and all that stuff, the child therapist. I know everything about my daughter. I know every mark on her body, every scar. You can every mark, everything. I know how she sleeps. I know the friends she has. I know what she talks about. I know everything, and I pay attention. And I pay attention when I see her when she gets undressed and throws her clothes in the laundry. I see if anything. This mom, at first, it was like she's either the worst mother on the planet, or she's guilty. And right here, it says she's guilty. And like I said, I would be undone at this point with my daughter missing, seeing the pictures of what Stephan took of him and Maddie. Thank you, Don Grandma 3, for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you received that, please do thank her. And thank you, Foxy, for the membership. If you did receive one, please thank her. I would lose my mind. I would go find Stephan right here, right now, and I would kill him.
The point of this analysis, and the point of all of the analysis which we've gone through, and we've gone through maybe 9 or 10 so far. If you haven't seen those, do look back on the VEROSCOPE channel for them. The point of the analysis is to discover the truth, the possibility of justice for Madeline.
Yep.
And the possibility that in that journey
Jen
of
wasn't
discovering
mad.
the truth, law enforcement might be able to take some of that knowledge in any preparation that they
There you
might
go.
have and any decision that they might have going forward with regards to charges.
So the
You know
Ursa
that
now.
now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
You know,
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance.
I didn't.
Offered him a lawyer.
Yes.
And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
Yeah.
It's not fine.
Hold on.
And she did just say that. He clarified that. Again, we're not even at that right now. What part did Jenn play in taking Maddie's life so she can get arrested? At this point, I think they realized that she's fine with the sex stuff, the way she reacted to everything. Stephan's locked up. He's got 21 life sentences. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to hurt any more children. And Jenn is hiding out with her sister. I mean, he's clearly saying this back to her without emotion. All right.
I know every relationship is different, and I know everybody's family is different. I won't ask.
Yep. No verbal reaction.
But going back on, has he expressed interest in? I'll use the word weird. I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like. Different sexual pleasures, different sexual experiences, different kinks that involve things you weren't comfortable with.
The only thing he's ever expressed to me was like anal.
Okay.
He had an anal.
Again, she just saw those pictures of her daughter doing the BJ, and she knows about the ANAL, and she's like, "Oh, again, nothing at all. Nothing really bad. Just he liked the anal, and well, Maddie would cuddle with him sometimes with his pants on, and sometimes. Can we get him a lawyer now? Fuck, man."
And like butts.
Okay.
But that was something I was never comfortable with or doing, and I let him know that like that's not something.
I know.
You guys slept in the same bed together. Steve was a big portion of your life at one point. Stephan was a big portion of your life at one point. And this is not me coming at you as a person or a bad person, because shit happens in the past. In the past, the past. We can't change the past. Has he ever expressed to you? Never. Has he ever made statements about made you feel different?
No.
Okay. When you guys slept in the same bed together.
All right.
Did you ever wake up and?
Here's where we talk about Maddie sleeping in the middle, and he's just asking her a pointed question. Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you think? No, it was fine. They were always closer than they were supposed to be.
Find them cuddling? Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you thought they should be?
They would snuggle, yeah.
Okay.
But we all snuggle. I didn't think that was that problem.
So if you guys are sleeping,
we all snuggle, and we know what snuggling is in that household, right? And remember, Maddie's body had to have been wrecked from age 6, 7 all the way into 13 with all the, I watch a lot of these cases, and I don't play them on my show because they're not for YouTube. When you hear about the abuse that happens to these children, the abuse that happened to Maddie could have ruined her from ever having children, probably gave her a bunch of different kinds of scars and things and stretch marks in the area where children shouldn't have that. There's no way that if a doctor would have seen Maddie, she wouldn't have known that she was being abused, or she would have asked her if she was sexually active. All right. This woman is disgusting, and snuggling in that household is different than in our household. And she talks about being a watcher. She's a watcher.
In the same bed, and she's in the center. You've woken up and they're snuggling. They're under the same blanket. They're not under the same blanket.
No.
But just like
she's got her own blanket.
Spooning for what? What is snuggling to you? Because to me, snuggling, spooning. Big spoon, little spoon.
Okay, that's a good question. Ideally, when we're looking at statement analysis and forensic linguistics, we attempt to make the questions clean questions. In other words, we don't contaminate using language or influence the answer. So asking her, what does snuggling mean to you, is an excellent question. We'll notice that Jenn avoids some of the questions, which is a deceptive marker. We'll be going through the analysis momentarily.
And it's only because I have a little bit of leverage and I can. And as much as revisiting these cases make me so mad, I'm still glad that she's out in the spotlight and not just walking away without anything. By the way, look at her in that chair. Look at her, how relaxed she seems to be. Earlier, somebody said something about the only thing Jenn wants is a nap. Very true. That's all she ever talked about was getting sleep, getting her pills, whatever. What's up, Faith and Repentance? Good to see you. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto now, please. It gets even worse in this episode. This just makes me so mad.
For those who have been following Veroscope for a while,
right, hit that
see
like
how
button,
many
y'all.
deceptive markers you get, because we probably miss at least half of them in each analysis. So put them in the comments when you see them, please.
He would lay down like.
And yes, we're talking about this today. I don't talk about this episode when we're on other episodes. So you guys do me a favor, hit the like button, share this. If you get the option to hype the video later, please hype my videos and help the channel to grow, as well as, yes, sunny days. Oh my God, I hate Jenn Soto so much, right? This is the time. If you have any questions or comments while we're listening, now's the time. When we're on another episode covering a missing person, it's not the time to ask about Jenn Soto. But today is.
This, and she would be right here in the nook.
Okay, part's disgusting. This is where she talks about Maddie being in the nook of Stephan's arm, and sometimes he didn't even wear pants. We've also heard the other stories, and we all know men wake up with morning wood. This happened all the time, guys, but now she's describing it and showing what they do or did.
Okay.
Unclothed.
How do you guys sleep? Do you guys sleep clothed, unclothed? I sleep clothed.
Yeah.
Shirt, pants, pajama sets.
Yes.
Everybody?
I sleep in like my everyday clothes.
Okay.
Thank you, Corinne.
Pajamas.
Thank you.
Or baggy t-shirts and shorts.
Okay.
And Stephan would sleep with his t-shirt or boxers, sometimes with his pants on.
She's talking about it like you guys just asked me, how's the weather in California, Jay? Oh, the weather's pretty good. Yesterday was sunny, but today it's a little bit rainy. I had to use my windshield wipers. You know, this bitch. And I don't like to cuss. I like to use more intelligent words, but the way she's talking is making my blood pressure rise too. She's a monster. He's a monster. Two monsters got put together on a collision course with this little girl, and she's talking about sometimes he had pants on and sometimes he didn't. Yes, Wolfpack, that gets my blood boiling. And the way she's talking about it, what in the hell? No, we don't. She's not missing in action. We do know that she's at her sister's more than likely, and we do know that law enforcement took my tips and went straight to Stephan Sterns' defense team and is talking to them and possibly him. He cannot tell me anymore about any of the questions that I've been asking because he doesn't want it to get out and hurt whatever case he might have. And I don't care about what he has. I care about how Deb and Chris are doing, and I care that Jenn Soto gets arrested. Stephan's not going anywhere, guys. He's not.
But he didn't have pajamas.
Okay, so they would snuggle, sometimes him being in his boxers.
Right.
He would wake up and she'd be in the nook of his arm, essentially in a cuddling position. And you never found that weird. Okay. Again, you and I may find things different. Why? And I don't want you to look back on it, because now you know you victimized her for a long time, right? Under your roof. With you home, most likely, because you said you're always home. You just got this job.
And she is always home because she didn't work. And even when she got that job, folks, she worked 10 hours a week. And when she went to work, she left at like 2 o'clock and came home at 10. Trust me, when I covered this case, everything was coming out. We had our whole mob of people looking into Jenn Soto, where she worked, when she got off, did she go to the party, does her parents like her, We found out so many things before they ever even came out. Juanita, welcome. This mama just needs to be locked up or something's going to happen. Bree, thank you for the $5. Hello, Jay Mods, Crime Crew. Love the channel. Thank you for your support. Oh,
I've been living off disability.
She's living off disability.
I know the Kissimmee Police Department has showed you pictures. I know they've verbally explained to you some pictures. I can tell you that today, we are still downloading his Google Drives. We are still going through his social medias, his cloud-based servers, and everything else. And we can now piece back her victimization in your house under your care to 2020. I believe we've gone as far back as in when she...
That would make the child about 8.
So when I ask, they've woken up cuddling, did you find things suspicious? Did you have an open relationship? He talked to you? Has he made inappropriate statements? It's almost like cheating, right? Like, have you ever been cheated on?
It's a disgusting cheating. However, when you're cheating, when you're having inappropriate relations with a child and sleeping with the mother at the same time. Now, Deb, since I do have you in chat, I know it's a ridiculous question, and I'm not going to really say where it came from, but somebody asked me the other day, can you ask Deb if Stephan and Jenn ever had an active, regular sex life? And you know what? I just assumed, since we saw them all over freaking social media and media, that they were in a relationship and husband and wife at some point, that they did. But can you tell me, do you know if Stephan and Jenn ever had like a normal looking kind of relationship where they were having like a healthy, active sexual life by chance? I don't know. I just assume they were. You don't go on the news and tell people, that's my husband, that's her stepfather, that's her bonus dad that she sleeps in bed with, and sometimes he doesn't wear clothes if you're not sleeping with the man. All right. Arrest Jenn Soto. Thank you so much for the $19.99 support. All right. Now, Deb says they did, at least what I heard coming from his room before I'd barricade myself in my room with the team. Thank you for, I know that I believe I've heard that before. And that's even more disgusting. She's a disgusting, nasty, rude, inconsiderate, lazy piece of trash potato for doing that. Oh my God. Who does that? Who goes over to their parents' house and goes and has loud, nasty, sloppy sex in the next room, and the parents have to turn the TV up? She's just a disgusting pig, and I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Deb, but you answered my question, and it was kind of gross, but I appreciate it. All right? Disgusting. Ugh.
Okay. Somebody can only cheat on somebody for so long until they fuck up.
Yes.
Or until something comes out, or somebody says something, right? So we go back to 2020, we're looking at a minimum of 3.5 years. 3.5 years where I'm sure you guys are sexually active.
Okay, sorry about the camera.
Yes. So for 3.5 years under your...
Watch the tear works, watch the hands, and then she just stops. Is she crying because Stephan was cheating on her and she just realized that he was cheating on her? Can't she be punished already? And that's why we're here. We're putting in the spotlight. I have not gotten any word back from any law enforcement. They're not going to tell me what they're doing, but that's what we want. I can't think of any other names to call her that I haven't without using some intelligent words in between. Sick fucks. Maddie paid the ultimate price. Disgusting. Watch how 3, 2, 1 after this she just switches up.
Care in your house. Not only is he being sexually active with you, he had a sexual relationship.
Throw the paper towels at the bitch.
And I know it's an emotional thing, and I know it sucks to hear, but where I'm coming from is it seems like something that you can't hide forever. You guys live in a small space, close quarters, you sleep in the same bed, you guys all talk, you guys all share things, you're an observant person for the most part, I assume. Outside of taking medications and going to sleep, it seems very difficult. A lot of grown-ass adults can't hide an affair with somebody who doesn't live with them.
And so now he's trying to go on that level of Stephan having an affair on her, and that's really what triggered her. Now, Kalisa says law enforcement won't do anything else with Jenn. Unfortunately, district attorney feels like they got their conviction, and they want. And I just want to know what makes you think that, Kalisa. I think much different than that. I absolutely think that they're looking into Jenn Soto right now, and the reason I think so is because the state, the lead investigator in this case, reached out to me and got information from me, and then reached back and then went to Stephan Sterns' defense team for more information. If law enforcement wasn't going to do anything about Jenn, I don't think they would have done any of that. They would have said, listen, I don't have nothing for you, or they would have never answered me back, and they would have never went and approached Stephan Sterns' team. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Was she on Snap? No, but she's 3, 2, 1 and done. Right? Okay, he cheated on me with my daughter. Now let's talk about something else.
Let alone somebody who does live with them. So at a certain point, I do believe you became aware of what was going on.
No.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't change.
So notice there's no real denial there.
No
we
denial.
Heard a yeah about adults can't hide affairs, and we just saw a no, and we heard a singular no. No real denial. No reliable denial. I believe fully that she has consciousness of guilt.
I know, but
I do believe that a reasonable person, and I consider you a reasonable person, right? Do you think you're a reasonable person?
Yes.
Would be aware that under her roof, sexual relation.
I had no idea.
The videos, the text messages, the images, they're all documented forever. This has been an ongoing.
And she never looked at Stephan Sterns' phone. I'm sure she did. She also looked at Maddie's phone, and you guys know that. She told law enforcement that she looked at Maddie's phone. She knew where her text messages were, and even the deleted messages. So, I mean, this guy's right. She's not denying any of this. And Angela, why would they believe she was aware if she's not in prison? It's like trafficking your kid, because they went straight for Stephan. And then after they went straight for Stephan, got signed, sealed, and delivered 21 life sentences. But in between that, law enforcement also changed, and different people took over different things. And in the case, I don't think that they are just like, oh, we're just going to keep her out. She didn't do anything. I don't think that. I just think they didn't find a shooting. They didn't find the shooting gun, so to speak, in a picture. They didn't see Jenn Soto in the corner of the mirror taking a picture of them with the CSAM. All right. And yeah, in my opinion, if there's a connection with the dark web, they would have found evidence by now, but we wouldn't know about it, Wolfpack, to be fair. They would have, but we would never have known about it. All right. Never, ever.
Thing. And at her age, I think she probably thought they were in a relationship. She probably thought they were in love because
she thought they were in love. I've always thought that too.
She just started liking boys, right? She just got a crush. Up until then, her.
Okay, so the crying stopped and the relaxing has started. Did you see that?
Yep. There you go. 3, 2, 1, done. Crying stop. Let's go.
It's being redacted because of the mentioning of Madeline's name.
At the same time, you guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you established that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him, essentially. Whether that's legal or not.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. She didn't say I had no idea. As a matter of fact, I just looked at that and she says, I have no idea. So truthfully, believe this. Wait, what? All right. Immunity was just a one-time thing, Nikki. They gave her a one-time immunity interview that lasted an hour and 2 or an hour and 3 minutes. And I covered that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. one-time immunity, one-time deal, one-time queen for the day. Anything she could say there wouldn't be used against her as long as she was telling the truth. So had she told law enforcement, well, I got to tell you, there's another hard drive that has 20 more thousand CSAM and it's up in the attic, she couldn't be used, she couldn't be accountable for it. All right. So one-time deal, that doesn't stand anymore, but she still has lawyered up. And I tried to tell you guys, Stephan and his team tried to get Jenn Soto for a deposition. They tried to get her to be able to go in and talk and take a statement, and she would not. She refused. And of course he wanted to get her to talk to help his case because she was the one standing up for him. She was the one that wanted Stephan to have a lawyer, period. She was the one sitting in this interview saying it wasn't evil, and she was the one, in my opinion, that I believe she pushed Maddie on Stephan and Stephan on Maddie, and she let that disturbing relationship that is also abuse continue. She encouraged it. She made money off of it. She profited off of it, and she puppet mastered a lot of it. And that's what we're talking about here. Yes, she's evil, and she needs to do her part, and she needs to be locked up. Look at just that. We've only been into this for not even 15 minutes, and she's lied. And when she doesn't lie, she really tells you who she is, guys. She does.
So I truthfully believe, and this is my belief, I'm not speaking for other detectives, I'm not speaking for the sheriff's office, the state police department, or any other agency I've said. This is Kevin's belief. I believe that you became aware of their sexual relationship. I think at a certain point throughout this relationship, you became aware of it. And for whatever reason, your reasons are your reasons, whether it was discussed that it would stop, whether it was discussed how it would go, that you feel some sense of guilt. A lot of the...
Look at her. She looks confused when he says you feel some sense of guilt. You can see her body language, and everything was taken, Sonny. We went over this again and again. I say some people should absolutely go back and watch my playlist. Absolutely everything was taken. All cell phones in that house, including anything that might resemble a cell phone. There were 4 cell phones. Everything has been taken and copied. All right. But that's not even the deal. And what's up, P&O? I was watching you yesterday. Shout out to you. I love P&O's channel. I love their conversations. I'm all about it. Shout out to him. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. You're a big channel. You have a lot of things to do. You're a busy man, so thank you. Arrest Jenn Soto, man.
News statements you've given kind of...
Did you see when the detective said you feel some sense of guilt? She shook her head. Did you see that? That's abnormal. She shook her head about some sense of guilt.
That's okay, Blum.
Now,
take your time.
An innocent mother whose child is missing, likely murdered,
I'm going to gift you guys
having
some
discovered what's happened, all of them would feel some sense of guilt.
But she doesn't.
Only the guilty and almost... I'm obviously not qualified to talk about her mental health, but to have no sense of guilt, I'm quite sure can be categorized.
Again, my opinion only, I don't speak for anybody else, whether it's in this room or out of this room, bother me. It seems like some of your emotion, up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's because I'm being an asshole. I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud.
And he's actually being fairly nice. He's just coming with real direct questions. And for some reason, she's either avoiding the questions or she doesn't answer them at all. She goes around them. So pay attention to that. Again, we're still talking about her saying that she watched Maddie like a hawk. But if she watched Maddie like a hawk, what was she watching her from, and what was she trying to prevent if there was nothing to prevent in that house? shout out to you, Kel, and anybody else that subscribed to PNO. You definitely should. He has a lot of live streams, and they're awesome. You get the chance to talk. It's him and some of his boys out there having really good discussions. I love it. I love channels that are chill like that and not drama. I like it. You get a little bit of like hype and passion like on this channel, but you also get the lowdown on the cases. So hit that like button, make sure that your gifted membership's on so that if somebody gifts you that you can get a Guilty of Crime membership. Welcome to the new members. All right. Yes, we can vent here respectfully.
When you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere. I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was not sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere.
Yes,
and I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is, so it has to be fake. This is demise for the past, let's say, 5 years.
Tell her.
Right?
Tell her.
But her going missing, her disappearance, if you have knowledge of how it happened, where it happened, an inclination, that emotion's not going to feel sincere because you're already aware of what happened.
I would.
It's almost becomes a lie at that point.
If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything.
I like how she claps back and tries to, again, she's not crying. She's not sad. Her daughter's been missing now for how many days? They're going to find her soon and a body. And now she's cussing at them. She doesn't know anything. She's never seen any signs. And I tried watching her like a hawk. I also put up the channel link for you guys. Jay, I believe her, Claudia says. Well, there you go. I'm glad that one person out of, thousands believe Jenn Soto. I don't believe her. He tells her straight up. And I wish he would have gotten harder, but I think had he gotten harder with her, she might have just clammed up and stopped talking because, right? She's a mental case.
I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to everything. 4 years?
Minimum.
Minimum.
That's just how fast that far back the cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not whether she slept or what relationship she was.
You're worried about her pills.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because that he hadn't shown me anything so far, like everything seems fine. Like he
treated her like he treated you.
He treated her like
he treats you.
Yeah, like a girlfriend, like a wife, like a lover, like a what? Disgusting, man.
In his mind.
Twice.
So now he's in jail because of what we found out.
Again, she's crying for herself. Not one time has she said, my daughter's missing. Stop effing talking to me. Why are you talking to me right now? She's out there. She's missing. And also then jump through that window because she just saw that book. And that book has disgusting pictures of Maddie and Stephan Sterns, right? And it's more than 4 years, guys. When we saw that picture of Maddie holding Stephan's head when they're playing chicken in the pool, very uncomfortable. She was a tiny little girl.
On his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he.
Thank you. Yeah,
I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse. So he's in jail for that, but something caused what.
Can I see more pictures?
Right, we searched murder because we can call it a murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We circled murder on Monday. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something
That didn't happen.
People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people, they break up with people, but usually things cause people to snap. Now what?
And
you know what? And I'm in trouble.
I absolutely don't believe that it was on purpose, but now that I know that I'm going to just say they, because Jenn Soto was the one that was supposed to be giving Maddie her medication. The fact that she was giving her double of the Ativan, and I did not know that they were giving that little girl weed on a regular basis. That's not okay. So on top of everything else, they were giving her anxiety medication, sleeping pills, and then weed on top from a vape pen. And you guys know how strong it is nowadays, right? I absolutely believe that she probably vomited and choked and all the other stuff that happened. I wish I could see that damn autopsy and the toxicology report, man. She really wants him to give her a hug. Yeah, right?
Or I feel like I'm going to, or him being out. We can go even worse. She's pregnant.
And she's not pregnant, by the way. She never was pregnant. I'm sure at one point Jenn Soto wanted to keep her not pregnant. She probably had the pregnancy test to make sure that Maddie wasn't pregnant if she was allowing this to happen. And from what I hear, she was. And in my opinion, she was. But Maddie was not pregnant when she died.
That's what questions last night led me to believe when we started talking about her period.
I was told that her and her friend, and granted, I'm male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle.
Thank you.
Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home that wasn't yours?
I have two underneath the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash?
No.
Their relationship hasn't changed?
No.
Okay.
So since when?
So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her?
Just not it.
What do you think made him snap?
I don't know. Theories, I keep hearing
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal. We don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
So she's gonna have theories now, guys, in 3, 2, 1, and her theories are right on. Remember, a lot of people didn't dive into this case the way some of us did from day one, right? We were here every single day working out, figuring out the details, etc. So we didn't know every detail, but now we're finding out about what they did to her, what actually happened, and for her to say she doesn't know and doesn't have a theory, and then she hits it right on there. Maddie's in the trunk. Stephan went down 192. Did she get choked? Well, the official medical examiner said she was asphyxiated. All right. She was asphyxiated. Her hyoid bone was broken. We don't know how much. And she was in that trunk. How did she know all that? You say, honestly believe Maddie threatened to tell on the phone at the birthday party and he lost it. Possibly, but I'm not so sure now that I realize what she had ingested all that night and about the vomit, etc. So I don't know.
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down? That's the only thing.
What do you think?
I don't want to believe he killed her. But when you guys are telling me he must have killed her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning. That photo you guys showed me of her stuck in the car.
It's strangulation, but they also use asphyxiation, and I have the report with me. So yeah, they definitely talk about asphyxiation and strangulation. So I've looked at the report. several times, and there could be a difference. I've read that before, the difference between asphyxiation and strangulation. All right. So, yes, one of those things, and that's one of the things she nails. Very similar.
So she thinks that he snuck the body out in the morning.
And he did.
And we know in the previous analysis of various videos that she heard banging in the kitchen as she's hiding under the duvet.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the case at all. Yeah. I know, my brain just wants to believe something else. I just want to believe she's...
They haven't found the body yet, but they haven't found the body yet, and so there's no initial ruling, but that's why she's saying, I still want to believe she's out there and she's alive. That's what she's saying again.
So alive, she's out there.
Okay, we've been watching the fake crying of Wendy, haven't we, and the fake crying of the others on the VEROSCOPE channel. I agree with this police officer. This is fake crying.
Yep.
Did he tell you he fucked up?
No. He acted so normal that day. He was like, I'm so impressed. We got out of the house so early. Like, she made great time. We had so much time to go to McDonald's, but she didn't want to.
So don't forget, Jenn went along with this made up story of getting up early so that they could go to McDonald's. And Stephan to drive her to school for the first time. This was not a normal morning.
For the first time, yet Maddie doesn't want to be seen in Stephan's car because it's a hoopty, right? Didn't she say that? So how can it be the first time? What's up, Anna Orlando? Good to see you. Now, I just looked up and I just want to be clear on this. Asphyxiation versus strangulation, and the reason they use asphyxiation is because it's a more broad medical condition where the body's deprived of oxygen. We don't know exactly how. When you say asphyxiation, it's broad. It could be deprive the body from oxygen based on hands. It could be deprived based on a bag. It could be so causing hypoxia and potential death. It includes any mechanisms, airway obstruction, decreased ambient, and strangulation is a specific form of mechanical asphyxiation produced by a compression of the neck that restricts the airflow. And so that's why and that could be a manual ligature or hanging, something like that. So again, asphyxiation is a broader term that you might not know exactly what happened, but the airway was gone. All right, the air is gone, and that's what caused and it can be both.
It's my absolute conviction, having analyzed her statements, that she is fully aware of everything.
His story was so fun. Like, every detail was so believable. He's just been lying this whole time. Like,
What about that day in the car when you offered him a lawyer? Did he disclose anything to you there that made you feel like, oh fuck, he needs a lawyer?
No. He kept acting like he...
Notice how the crying can immediately turn on and off depending on the question.
Anyone else notice that? No oxygen.
Didn't know what was happening, and I'm like, don't you see forensics? Don't you see they took your phone? Like, something's happening. Like, I think they're gonna pin this on you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, they have the wrong guy. Like, they're just honing in on the last person who saw her. But no, you guys knew more.
You never said, what did you do?
So here we have a mother saying to the boyfriend, who she's continuing to help hide the crime, saying, I think they're going to pin this on you. Can you imagine an innocent mother ever saying that and not, well, I'm literally lost for words.
I've never asked him any of that. I still, even up until when we got here to the police station, I was convinced that he hadn't done anything to her at all.
Because of him or because of...
And she didn't even say Maddie's name. I was waiting for her to say, convinced that he didn't hurt Maddie at all, but she didn't say that. She said her, and didn't go on to notice a lot of other things, stopping and crying. That's not the first time she asked for a lawyer. She called her ex-husband, whose also name was Stephen, or Stephen, and to ask him about a lawyer. And then she also texted or called Chris, Sterns' dad, about a lawyer. And I think once Jenn knew about what was happening, guys, once Jenn had already sealed the deal, she knew the inappropriate abuse that was happening with Maddie, she kind of just stayed out of it. Yeah, and she often does refer to Maddie in the abstract, and she doesn't say her name. It's like she can't say her name. All right, this is VEROSCOPE. If you go to my description, VEROSCOPE's been doing these videos, and he's still doing the videos on Jenn Soto, and I'm happy to react to them. All right, VEROSCOPE is a software used by law enforcement many times for forensic linguistics to tell the areas of where people are lying and where you can attack a certain story by running it through and seeing the words that they're using and the words that they're not using, like Maddie's name, the body. Thank you so much, Jamie Casey. Choo, choo. Yes, listen to what Jenn is saying and not saying. So many things. So many things. I mean, we've spent the last almost 2 years looking at this stuff.
Not wanting to believe she's deceased.
Because of him? Because I thought he was a good guy.
So up until this morning, you still think that it's not?
No.
We're talking about the other day.
Up until
when we took him.
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot what day of the week that was.
So we're still going through.
They do watch my channel.
His drive, like I told you, all his socials. We can date back to 2020. Based on the videos, it appears that was the start of the victimization. Okay, are we going to find anything in his...
Now, it was documented at 2020, but it's alleged to be before 2020. And the documentation started right after Juan Soto and the roommate moved out of the house. All right.
Phone with
that fake rocket.
He never done anything. We've never done anything.
Has there ever been a request for the two of you to participate in sexual activity with him?
No.
Regardless of you saying no or yes?
No, he's never asked that.
Okay.
He didn't want you, he just wanted her. He's asking, did he ever ask to have sex with both of you? Which again, it's abuse, not sex. Call it what you want.
Find pictures like that.
Are you really?
Surprise you. So if I'm in his Google Drive, if I have a sex crimes detective, a computer person look at his phone, and they tell me, hey Kevin, I found a picture engaged in sexual activity or borderline sexual activity, is that going to surprise you?
Yes, because that doesn't exist.
Okay. At any time during the course of your relationship, has he expressed that he has ever had sex with a child?
No.
Notice that she said that
No.
didn't happen. She said that those photos don't exist. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference, and she's quick to respond no, real fast, which leads me to believe that she's lying and covering for Stephan. At this point, she's hoping that they don't find Maddie's body so quickly.
Not a child, but when he told me when he was in high school, he graduated high school like later, like older than 18.
Okay.
He dated somebody younger than 18. I think she was 15. But I don't know how old he was, 19, 20. But he was an older kid in high school. He graduated late. But he had a really young girlfriend. Her name was Kendall. And I thought that was weird. I was like, that's a little too young. He goes, no, it's fine. We were in high school. Everything was normal. Her parents loved me. Blah, 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 blah. But that's the only one.
Have you ever gone through his phone?
Who, me? Wait, what? Wait.
Okay.
Did she just say no because she was watching Maddie like a hawk? Her parents love me. Give me a tip based on knowing him to Wednesday. We think we did it from Wednesday. Wait, she didn't go through his phone. Give me your top 5 places where you think he would dump Maddie. If she didn't go for his phone and she didn't go through his phone, first of all, she is lying because she talked about going through Maddie's, knowing where everything was. She also sat there with Stephan when he erased / reset his phone. But watching Maddie like a hawk would mean checking Stephan's phone where they talked all the time, on FaceTime all the time, had a boyfriend-girlfriend like relationship all the time. Doesn't make sense.
In this area?
Okay, here it is.
No.
Here it is. She becomes a fortune teller. She's going to tell us where Stephan took Maddie, where she dumped Maddie, that Maddie was in the trunk, and how Maddie died. And they haven't found Maddie at all. All of a sudden, she's going to remember. She's going to tell us.
I know.
Anywhere you want.
I'm saying.
Okay, let's go through the analysis.
Yep, she served her up.
So she says, I tried watching her like a
Right.
hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't.
You sure weren't, lady.
You cannot watch for what you don't know exists.
She's clairvoyant.
This
Exactly.
is
Exactly,
an
Dad.
admittance. Think about it. I tried watching her like a hawk. This admits that you're aware that you failed. I
you.
tried watching her like a hawk.
Thank you, Lisa Marie
We're
Durst.
talking
Welcome.
about the circumstances which the police officer has described to her. These are her words. I thought I was doing a good job.
Yes, yes.
The job which you tried and failed to do, and even accept and state
That you
I
didn't do a
wasn't.
good job. And how would she know what she was protecting her from or watching like a hawk? And how would she do that without looking through his phone, without checking their conversations between each other, without checking Maddie's phone to see who she was talking about, what she was crushing on? What about those notebooks that were clearly on her desk that showed pictures in her notebook of a little girl giving a BJ, a hand-drawn picture, and so many other signs and things that no parent, no person could ignore? What about that? So, I mean, right there's a huge admission to guilt here. It's like when Stephan wanted to, what were you watching her like a hawk with? What were you doing? Because she didn't want Maddie to go see Tyler, because she didn't want someone to film Maddie underneath the door when they were in the bathroom on an airplane. Why would you ever be so specific about that? Now, they found it in her text messages. What about, I can't have her sleeping with me anymore. I can't, what did she say? I can't risk it, her sleeping with me anymore. How do you become clairvoyant, watch your daughter like a hawk, but yet know nothing, see nothing, never look at his phone? It doesn't make sense. I know. All of us, if I had 2 minutes alone with Jenn, I wouldn't be doing what that officer is right now.
This is admittance of consciousness of guilt. The active surveillance for a known threat.
I watch her like a
tried
hawk.
watching like a hawk. It's a metaphor for a predator. Danger watching.
Yep.
Thought I was doing a good job at self-evaluation of the prevention efforts, which she knew were necessary. And not only that, she knew they were necessary, but sent them upstairs. And this isn't, something that was new. This is something that's been going on for years. So far, she's not been charged. But I wasn't. Admission of failure to prevent.
Right, Keita? We all agree on that. I think all mothers.
So when a
agree on
subject
that.
provides information that contradicts their claimed position, We believe the information given, not the position claimed. Jennifer claims ignorance while describing active surveillance, attempted prevention, and acknowledged failure. And if you look at the last analysis we did, we have a clear, open admission that she sent them upstairs together.
Yep, that night.
These admissions are impossible to reconcile with her claimed lack of knowledge.
Again, guys, this is a forensic linguistic app that they use, or software that they use to poke holes in people that are giving statements, and statement analysis, detailed statement analysis that will break down what you're saying, what you're not saying, find the past tense. You can see that indicates failed attempt at something specific. All right. And this is a huge key. Although we found 15, 20, 30 other keys in this interview, watching her like a hawk. From what? What were you watching her about? What did you watch? What did you see? You missed everything, but you were watching her like a hawk.
So
the
category, the admissions of knowledge. I tried watching her like a hawk.
Hey, Angel. Good to see you, my friend.
I thought I was doing a good job, but wasn't. The detective states 3.5 years. I'm going to leave out some of the language, but obviously you can read it. She has specific knowledge of when it began. Only someone tracking it would correct 3.5 to 4 years.
You hear that? Do you hear? I didn't even catch that she corrected that. Now, law enforcement had said that about it started in 2020. And then how would she know what happened? And why would she be able to correct him at that? Again, she didn't know any of the timelines yet. She didn't know that Maddie was even not alive yet. She wasn't supposed to know that. But there's no way that the dumbest mother on the planet that's always zonked out is going to know exactly what happened. Isn't law enforcement listening to VEROSCOPE? I hope so. Law enforcement uses a software like VEROSCOPE. So just because we send them, I did send them information about it, but I don't know what they're using and what they're not using. But law enforcement does use this software. Thank God. I would repetition. I love this because we wouldn't.
I do apologize if there's been a transcription error there.
Now this is like Deception Detective, but with a software. So I love that VEROSCOPE did this. It's the same. It's very similar to this Carta deck with a software. I think Deception Detective might possibly use a software like that and then turn it into a deck, an app, all that, right? And he's got it down.
They would snuggle, yeah. They would. So in statement analysis, we recognize when we see sensitivity or cognitive overload.
What?
She admits there's a regular pattern of physical intimacy between an adult man and a child. And she's got acceptance language and tone.
Yep, Deception Detective, baby. The eye candy. We all snuggle.
She says, but we all snuggle. I didn't think that was.
That doesn't make sense.
So here we have the cognitive overload stutter, the hiding in the crowd, deflecting responsibility. We have.
You guys, sometimes I can't even help myself. Jay, I think she meant to say I was high as a hawk. Yeah, I think VEROSCOPE got that wrong, right? And Joanne, that's a fantastic question. If you just hopped in here today, great question. How come she's not been arrested? Well, the last time we sent information, I sent information in to the lead detective, and he told me that he would look at it. He went straight to wherever the powers that be, and they went to visit Stephan Sterns' defense team to talk more about it. Now, Stephan's the only one that can tell them what exactly happened that morning since Jenn Soto's not talking. So that's a great question. Why hasn't she been arrested yet? That's the $1 million question of the year that I want to know as well. Thank you so much. Choo, choo, Barbie G and Emily Jane. Welcome. Good to see you. And I would never say that about Baby Guilty unless it was very specific. Like, let's say Baby Guilty was going to have a sleepover and I didn't trust some of the kids there. And I said, well, I was watching them or watching her like a hawk that night. I didn't sleep one wink because I wanted to make sure that kid wasn't going to XYZ, right? You understand what we're saying here. Nobody's going to say that unless there's something to watch. Now, do I watch Baby Guilty in every single person that she talks to, every single person in the after school program, every single person that I see her give a hug to at school? Yes, I check her phone. I check my phone. I let her talk to people on my phone so that I can get the responses. Do I do that? Yes. Is there a specific reason? No, just because life is shitty. Nothing other than life is rough. People suck. And there's a bunch of evil in the world. But this is much different with what's been happening for years. Rose, you're very welcome. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, that's my question also. And like I said, at the very beginning, I gave you guys the update of updates that I could. Law enforcement has gone quiet. Stephan has gone quiet on my side. Now, I'm sure that he's reached out to Deb and Chris. I'm sure that he wants, it's time for the commissary. I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't asked Deb. I don't want to know any of their personal stuff. I just want to know what's happening with Jenn Soto right now and what his defense team is doing, what they're doing. But I'm not going to be able to know that. And I assume, Deb, that Stephan's reaching out to you frequently, maybe once a week. Let me know in chat. Just curious.
Self-censorship. Not normal. I didn't think that was normal. And I think this was going to be normal. But she abandons it, recognizing that she's just made an error. She's self-censoring. I think it's an accidental confession here.
Accidental confession, you guys. Several times.
Hold on, she said. Again, sensitive because of the repeated pattern.
Right, Selena? Hell no.
We have a control attempt by her. When she says this, and then she had to correct herself because obviously it's not fine. We have a complete absence of denial, and therefore in this sort of circumstance, an absence of denial is as good as an admission.
There you go.
Especially from a mother.
An evil, lazy...
And this was just so wrong, wasn't it?
Potato of a mother, you mean?
To accept that the murder was evil, but everything else was fine.
Not. And I think that she believes that,
guys.
That
tells us her state of her attitude to it. The murder was evil, but everything else.
I mean, okay, listen, now, this is not me giving any kind of credibility to Stephan Sterns. I'm giving Stephan Sterns as much credibility as he gives himself. However, he has no reason to sit there and write out an email that would talk about Jenn's involvement and how she pushed Maddie onto him, which we clearly saw ourselves, right? I mean, he still cannot talk about, all right? He still cannot talk about what he did to Maddie. In my opinion, in his mind, now this is just my evaluation of Stephan Sterns, okay? I've talked to him several times in emails, never on the phone, but in every single email, he's kept it pretty straight. And he said that, I mean, this has happened. The abuse absolutely happened. He pled to that. But Jenn Soto was directly involved in pushing Maddie on, and he can't talk any further than that. Like, he still can't. He still said to me, I cannot talk about this yet. Whatever he did to her, the abuse that went on for years, he just says, I don't know what exactly happened, and I'm not ready to talk about that part yet. However, I will not admit guilt, even though he pled no contest to taking Maddie's life, and take the full responsibility without talking about Jenn's portion. And never, ever, ever would I blame Chris and Deb for raising a monster. Parents don't know that. I could be a monster and my mom would never know. My mom raised 3 children, and 2 of them are they're great, but they also ended up in prison. There's no way a mom can control what their child does, if they like other children, if they're whatever. You can't control that. So I would never put that on him. Stephan told me he could not plead guilty to something he didn't do. And that's what he said over and over. Again, I'm not taking away from whatever credibility he has or doesn't have, but there's no reason for him to have done that. And there's no reason for him to have said those things and incorporated Jenn into it if she wasn't. All right. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. I believe she is under investigation. And I believe that they're talking to the defense team, and it takes time, period. Right? And that's based on the knowledge that I have of this case and talking to law enforcement and Stephan, which has now stopped answering questions from me specifically about the case.
Else was fine, is what she told us.
Yes, he also found her deceased, is what he said. Yes, Emily, that's Deb.
So, it's almost become I knew. If I knew anything,
Unless
I
you're
promise you, I
Ed
would tell
right?
you. So we have, for those who have been following VEROSCOPE, we have the pattern of deception, which you're beginning to know now. The would means not necessarily that you will. I would, self-censorship.
And I think anybody, right? This is not what I want to hear when I get an email and it says, well, I want to talk loud, but I also want to try to save my own ass and maybe get another trial or another chance on that part. It's still not going to take away from the life sentences. He's never going to get out of that. But I agree, Joanne, and I hope that's what's happening. Now, it doesn't matter what Stephan needs to do to sleep at night. I don't care. I don't care what he does to sleep at night. But however, I don't think he would have pled that way if Jenn didn't have something to do with it. All right. I really don't. And Wolfpack, we can agree to disagree on this. My intuition has says something much different than what some people think about the involvement of Jenn and Stephan Sterns. And that's the only reason a fraction of me believes some of the things that he's led me to see with Jenn, and that's happened. All right, because I didn't hear it from anyone else, and it matches up with all of the things that we've been covering. So it doesn't matter. I can always agree to disagree with you. I truly believe that there's parts of Stephan's story that are lies, and then there's parts where he just says, I can't talk about it. I'm not ready to talk about it. I don't know why I was attracted to children. I've never been attracted to children before. All right, regardless, doesn't matter if he's lying or if he's not. It happened with Maddie for years. And in my opinion, Jenn did not protect her daughter. That's it. Done. Over. Now let's arrest Jenn Soto, please.
Break of cognition. It's almost become a self-censorship break. I knew.
Well, he has.
Here is possible leakage.
He has.
If I knew anything.
Yeah, you did.
So here we have, I knew, eek, self-censorship, start again.
Well, here's the thing, guys, is he's not now. I think a lot of people just didn't see some of my episodes after Stephan was convicted. He is talking about Jenn's involvement now. Is it a day late and $1 short? Maybe, but he is talking about Jenn's involvement. I think people completely just missed my episodes where I told you what he said, how he said it. I read it to you. I showed it to you. He is talking now. Am I going to hear more because he's talking to law enforcement? No, because I'm not going to be intertwined with the case, nor do I want to be. I want to know when she gets arrested, but I don't want to be involved in that shit. All right, let's keep going.
If I knew anything, mini break self-censorship, I promise you I would tell you.
Absolutely.
Unnecessary language, convincing language.
Yeah, you did miss that true
using
crime.
and repeating the word would, I would, being sensitive. The entire sentence is deceptive, full of deception flags.
Red flags, baby. Jenn Soto's a liar.
This is an unreliable denial. Every word is qualified. She cannot form a complete denial statement due to deceptive stress. But I don't know anything, she says. Don't know, not didn't know. Anything is hugely vague under these circumstances.
Welcome, true crime. You should go back and watch it, though.
Maximum vagueness.
Definitely go back and take a look at 3-4 weeks back, true crime and other stuff, and there's specific videos on what Stephan Sterns has said to me. I've read the emails. I've been in communication with him. He's been in communication with me. I talk with Deb. Deb talks with me about Stephan. We all talk about Stephan, and we all ask Stephan very pointed questions about Jenn, and it's all in my documented playlist. All right, so take a look. You definitely should. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you found us.
She doesn't address the actual specific allegation. It's too broad to be reliable. It's just a technical truth statement. I don't know anything.
Yep, that's disgusting. I would
Also present tense, isn't it?
I would chop it off. If that were me, if I were Jenn Soto and I knew what Stephan did.
Tenses are very important in statement analysis.
I'd Lorena Bob
otherwise, we get this linguistic sleight of hand.
I would chop it off, guys.
I sleep clothed, yeah. Shirt, pants, pajama sets, yes.
This is VEROSCOPE.
We would here. It was slightly difficult to. Because of the redaction with Madeline's name being mentioned, the editor, because she hadn't been found at that stage, I believe the editor was removing the name.
Madeline Soto, Maddie. Does not answer about Maddie. Doesn't use Maddie's name. Talks about her as the body.
She also didn't, from memory, answer the question entirely, and she began with what she wore. Excessive detail for self. We look at percentages very often. So a person, to avoid the lie, will spend a large percentage of the answer in safe ground. So the safe ground.
I mean, this is making me mad just looking at this when she says the only thing he ever expressed was he liked ANAL, a weird actual interest. Might explain predatory behavior, maybe, because, you know, many grown women don't want that. You got to find somebody with kink. So does that explain something? That is a very minimizing word for her to say he only ever expressed to me about. That is a big deal. You don't minimize only and anal in the same. I mean, not for me, it doesn't. There's no, it's one way and that's it. There's none of that. This should never, none of this should have ever happened, period. Man, this is just, this makes me mad. I'm going to just go past this part a little because I already know what was done to Maddie, and it makes me disgusted and sick. All right. And the whole sleep cloth, clothed, yeah, shirt, pants, pajama, yes, cloth, clothed. She stutters. I bet you many times they didn't have clothes on. All right. And maybe they weren't butt naked, but inappropriately dressed to have 3 people in the bed, one that's been abused for years, and then for her to talk about his actual desires. Just this guy, I can't. That makes me sick to my stomach. You guys know that. Ugh. All right. I can't with that. Let's just look at these repetition. Now, this pattern analysis, guys, is what tells you about her lies, her studying, her repetition, her abandoned sentences where she's about to say something and then she says something else, or she stops, or she doesn't talk about Maddie's name. All right. These are the lies, 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 only minimizing the snuggling. And we know what snuggling really was in that household. There's nothing to minimize it. It is sick and it makes me sick and it gives me nightmares. I can't.
Up certain sections. So we've got a lot of stuttering and repetition due to cognitive strain, extreme sensitivity at deception points.
Ugh.
We've got a lot of self-censoring through abandoned sentences, a lot of conditional language, I would, if I knew, willing to, future promises, single word denials, no, no. I'll tell you what struck me was no guilt. This is a very, very unusual personality trait. She shook her head, didn't she? She essentially said she's got no guilt.
Mm-hmm.
An innocent mother whose child is missing feels guilt in all sorts of ways.
Right?
Because
and she
they're
doesn't
innocent.
feel any guilt, right? Think about that, guys. Think about an innocent mom. Now, Mab, this sounds like a channel I'd like to watch. Absolutely. Go sub up to VEROSCOPE. But covering true crime, moms that did nothing wrong feel guilty just because they didn't tell their son or daughter that they loved them the last time they saw them. And Jenn feels guilty for nothing. You tell me if that's normal. All right. Now we're going to go cover some cases next week where, I absolutely want to cover the Michael Monkey Vaughn case where you see a real mother really grieving and then real duper's delight when it comes to Stacy and that piece of garbage, the Wandras. Oh my God. You guys are really going to see duper's delight, lies, and how a real mother grieves. Midnight Lays, thank you so much for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. All right. Someday justice for Maddie will come. It hasn't been that long since I last spoke with law enforcement and since they went and talked to Stephan. So let's pray that something comes out of that. All right. Please. Justice for Maddie. # arrest Jenn Soto.
Okay. We've got a complete lack of maternal responses that we would expect. We've got completely unreliable denials.
Welcome.
We've got lots of missing information.
I hope so.
Even the detective was telling her exactly what he thought. Okay.
And they were in the bed regularly.
So we've got lots of impossibilities. Most of these you can read.
I'll go
Don't
sub
need
up
me
to
to just repeat them for you.
It was the CSAM, 35,000 images. There were other people. Both Wanderers and Shirtless will be going to jail. You know that Stacy's already in jail, right? Or
just in this transcript, in
jail.
this section of the transcript,
He got loud.
We've got mathematical probability of not knowing approaches 0. When we look at every single statement that we analyze with Jenn.
So this channel is called VEROSCOPE. He doesn't give his name. The British guy is the VEROSCOPE channel, right? I don't blame him for not wanting people to know who he is. So it's VEROSCOPE. It's in the description at VEROSCOPE1 on YouTube. All right. We don't know his name. We'll just call him VEROSCOPE.
And we're probably over 10 now, if we include the media interviews that she gave. And every single one shows extreme mathematical probability of guilt.
There you go.
This isn't just an unlucky section of a transcript. This is every single transcript.
I don't have open panels. I do collaborate, but it depends on what it is. But I'll definitely check out your channel. I've learned a long time ago collaborations can be no bueno. So I don't know, but I will check out your channel for sure. You can drop a link if you like.
Now,
All right,
when
guys,
there's
don't
only
forget that.
circumstantial evidence,
Hit that like button, please.
and all we have sometimes to go on is what the person says.
Again, this is all circumstantial evidence. There's no picture with Jenn in the mirror watching CSAM stuff being produced. They obviously don't have a text message where it says, hey, I'm going to go and assault your daughter now. Here's a few pictures of this happening. All right. So again, if that was in the evidence bin, she would have been arrested. This is all circumstantial.
In their own words. I personally think we're seeing from Jenn's own words evidence of consciousness of guilt.
Hey, Jinx,
and
good to see you.
Knowledge of the crime. Whether or not there's enough evidence to show that she was also involved in the cover-up and helping Stephan Sterns to move the body from the kitchen to the car, and other planning. We do see evidence of planning in her linguistics.
Again, I believe she was absolutely part of that plan. She knew what, when, where, and how. All right. She used that as an alibi to go to her blood appointment, to finish cleaning up and turning the laundry over, etc. There's no way she slept through all that. She even talks about Stephan waking her up in the morning and saying, hey, honey, don't worry. I'm going to take the dog's potty now. Right.
And we see evidence of joint planning. And also we see evidence of abandoned joint plans together. Agreed. And they both exhibit the same evidence. So,
all right, smoking gun analysis.
In my opinion, guys. Jennifer Soto's over.
And then tomorrow we're still here. We're gonna finish this up. Jenn Soto's own words contains a complete confession, y'all. When she states, again, this is the video. I tried watching her like a hawk, and I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. She admits knowledge of a specific danger requiring surveillance of Maddie. She actively attempts to prevent the danger, and her self-evaluation of prevention performance, that she failed it. Acknowledgement of failure. Like I said at the very beginning, you can't acknowledge something that you don't know is happening, and you can't prevent that thing that you don't know is happening if you don't know it's happening. All right? She's a liar. She's a loser. She's a drug addict. She's a evil, bad, terrible piece of trash mom, period.
Sent them both upstairs.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Nancy Jean, for the $9.99 super sticker. I appreciate you.
So we have knowledge of the abuse. We have awareness of the danger. We have, in her words, attempted prevention, whether that's true or whether it's not. That's what she's telling us. We have acceptance of inappropriate contact, and we have a failure to protect the child at a very minimum.
There you go. Very minimum, failure to protect the child. But we know it's more.
The linguistic patterns in this interview section are consistent with guilty knowledge and inconsistent with innocence. That's my finding.
All right. So final determination, the linguistic patterns that they use in law enforcement. All right, they use this for law enforcement, and we've been doing this again and again. We have lots of videos that we've covered. VEROSCOPE still has a whole other video out that I want to review this week on Friday, so we can have call-ins consistent with guilty knowledge with everything we know. And I want to tell you guys, I do wish, I got to tell you, that this weighs heavy on me. I do wish that had I talked to Stephan Sterns, I wish that he would have said to me, Jay, you're barking up the wrong tree. All right. So Jenn didn't know about this. All right. I don't want to talk about what happened. I don't want to talk about what happened. I can't talk about what happened. I don't even know how to reconcile that with myself and the abuse and the relationship between him and Maddie. But Jenn didn't know anything about it, and she didn't do anything that day. She had no idea Maddie was gone. She didn't give her the DR rugs and overdose her that night and knew that she threw up. But that's not what he said. What he said was much different, but I wish that he would have, so I can at least compartmentalize that Jenn's just a terrible mother that that didn't know anything. She's just a dumb mom and she didn't pay attention. And that is not what he's talking about. And I have no reason to believe, other than the fact that he's already 21 life sentences in and realizes, shit, Jenn didn't stick up for me. I couldn't even get her into a deposition. Now I might as well tell the part she played. And that's what I'm taking. I'm definitely really tired of this crap too, but we definitely want to keep Jenn in the spotlight. And we want her to know that we know, and that behind the scenes, Stephan's talking, Jenn. Stephan's talking. Whether you gotta run or make yourself look even guiltier, do what you need to, Jenn Soto, because the veil is coming up and the truth is coming out. All right. An innocent mom would have been in court. She would have took a deposition. She would have done a deposition. She would have done anything to help her daughter's murderer and rapist be convicted, and she didn't. She didn't go to her vigil. She didn't go to the memorial. She didn't make a statement in court. She didn't do anything to try and help convict. The only thing she did was to try to get Stephan out of what he did. All right. She wouldn't be at the original funeral. She didn't go to pass out flyers. She refused to pass them out, and she told the lady that paid for the flyers to get them printed to just go call my sister Stephanie. I don't want anything to do with this. Talk to her. All right. So in my mind, yes, she's a freaking piece of trash, and she deserves whatever's coming to her. And I hope that it's going to be justice soon, whether it's her being arrested for the smallest or the biggest amount that she can possibly be, because this weighs heavy on my mind that Stephan didn't say Jenn didn't have anything to do with it. And after hearing what part she did play, it makes me even more mad to know that she double and even possibly triple dosed Maddie the night she died. And I have a huge feeling that played a giant factor in slowing down Maddie's breathing and causing the asphyxiation. All right. Now, the hyoid bone could have been broken post-mortem based on the information that Stephan read and relayed to his parents, etc. They know more about the toxicology and the autopsy report than I do, because Stephan Sterns got to see the autopsy and the toxicology, and I don't know if we ever will. So that being said, I'm still in the fight for justice for Madeline Soto, and even after all this is over, I'll still continue to cover it time and time again when something comes out and I feel the need to put Jenn Soto on blast. All right. Hashtag arrest potato now. Maddie deserved better, and we want justice for her. I love this picture. I love the way she goes from a beautiful little angel to looking like a teenager, like she's growing up, and she died way too soon. All right. And justice needs to be served. I don't feel like it's complete. All right. That being said, guys, we've been here for almost 2 hours, and I'd love to see you all tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what I'm covering. I know there's a missing 13-year-old out there that's been missing since October 14th. And I think I may cover that, but I got a lot on my plate to cover. But I promise, guys, I'll have a new case for you and new information, etc., tomorrow, Friday, and next week. So please do come back. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, and share. and make sure you hit the notifications button. All right. Yeah, Sebastian Rogers too, but the Sebastian Rogers case has gone out of whack. I think Tiff, she got mad. I called her Tiffany the other day and she got mad. Although to me, whatever. Winter Wagner, guys. Winter Wagner has been missing from Orlando area of Rockcastle County, Kentucky. I don't know why it says missing from Orlando and of Rockcastle County, Kentucky, after being last seen on October 14th. Local, state, and federal resources joined a multi-agency search for Winter's family and community members. So she went missing from Orlando, I guess, and she's from Kentucky. Anyhow, Winter. Has anyone heard of Winter Wagner? Went missing, has been missing since October 14th. I'm going to take a look at that case tomorrow. If I can maybe she went to Orlando and disappeared there. I think that's what happened, but I'm also just new into the case. Winter Wagner reported missing October 14th. Her location is the Orlando area and also Rockcastle County, Kentucky. Last time she was seen was October 14th, 2025, 6:15 p.m. So I'm going to try to do whatever I can to get whatever information that I can about this little girl and put it together for a case. All right. Much love to you guys. Thank you all for the love, support, and Guilty of Crime memberships. Until tomorrow, I'll see you guys 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Love you all and be safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Good night. Have a good one.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty